Hello, I'm Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and in this episode, I want to give you a filmmaking tip specific to production that I think will very greatly ease your life in post-production and more specifically distribution. So, what is it? Well, in the past, if you've followed me, I've talked about the importance of just doing an audio-only take at the end of a scene. And what that means is don't roll cameras, but just literally have the actors play out the scene, and that way you get a clean audio-only take. That way you can utilize that. It's much easier to utilize, especially with the modern tools of today, for ADR and so forth, right? Because it'll match a lot better. It'll be in the cadence that and the rhythm that the actors are already in, and so forth, right? So that was a tip that I'm very adamant on and has helped me tremendously. So the tip of this episode is an offshoot of that, which is to do an audio-only recording of the scene, but without dialogue. So even if there's dialogue in it, the actors they mouth it, but they don't actually say any of the words. Now, why would I give you this tip? Well, when it comes to distribution specifically, by the end, when all is said and done, you will have essentially three stems. The dialogue stem, which is audio of all the dialogue in the movie, right? Then you will have the effects stem, which is all the various effects of the movie, and then you will have the music stem, which is all the music of the movie, and that's what you boil it all down to. And all those collectively make up the sound design of the movie, right? What you hear when you're watching it. And a lot of times what ends up happening is, in the best sense, right? If you're on set, and let's say someone like slams down a book on a table. Well, you would get that naturally as part of the scene, and just to kind of really drive home the issue, someone slams down the book, and at the same time they say the word, the F word, right? So the beauty is you have a very natural sounding, you have that sound effect. You might augment it a little bit, in which case the augmentation goes into the sound effects stem of it. But that slamming of the book and saying the expletive really becomes part of the dialogue track, right? Which is great for the overall sound of it, because you're getting a natural sound, you're getting your recording of the actor saying the line, and it's great. But it's not so great for distribution purposes, because in distribution, a lot of times they want just a music and effects track fully filled out. Now, why would they want this? Well, because as it goes internationally, they'll need that so that way they can dub over it, so they can play it on TV and so forth. And if a sound effect of that book slamming is recorded as part of the dialogue track ultimately, then it'll be missing in the dubbed version ultimately, right? And that's not good, because then it'll just sound very hollow. So distributors will look for a fully filled out music and effects track, meaning from start to finish, there is no break in sound, unless very deliberately, if you're like a David Lynch movie, or the movie 8.5 has moments of silence. So you have to be very specific. It has to be a choice, right? Which most people won't be doing. And so even just having room tone to fill out, if there is quote unquote silence and stuff like that, they all want this. And so to help you do and create and fill out this full, music and effects track, which most of the focus will really go towards the music, the effects side of it, right? it's great to just do an audio only version with no dialogue, right? So just a slamming of the, having the actors go through the scene and do all their motions, so that way you get the footsteps, you get the book slams and whatever, and you can fill out the actual effects track based on the actual scene itself. And rather than have to go and recreate the Foley, you just have it as naturally as you could. Obviously, tweaks here and there is no different than anything else, but that gets you a lot closer, a lot better in terms of your goals. So that is my tip and the explanation of why the hell you would even need this, right? Now, of course, in some sense, this is all dependent on, international sales and, them wanting to dub your movie, but of course, we cannot predict this, and so why not put yourself in the best position for that? Because a lot of times, we don't have an eye for post-production or distribution, and that screws up a lot of people, right? That's why I love recording audio-only takes with the dialogue, right? Because then, if I need to fix, right? I don't have to do ADR specifically. I can pull it from that audio-only take and only do ADR if absolutely necessary. And then this, is an eye towards distribution. So it's just very helpful, right? So hopefully you find it equally as beneficial. And yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments on that down below. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.